Hey everybody, this is STEM Talk and it's Fahim. We have a Googler with us. It's Christina. Thank you so much. She's from Spain right now and she's gonna introduce herself. So go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me on. My name is Christina Stathopoulos. I'm not necessarily from Spain. I'm in Spain now, but I'm from North Carolina, from the US. I'm based in Madrid now. I've been here since 2012. And like mentioned, I work at Google. I currently work as an analytical lead at Waze, the navigation app. And then I also am an adjunct professor at IE Business School here in Madrid. I do guest lecturing. I do a lot of public speaking. So I'm very much involved in many things around analytics, emerging technologies, data, and so on.
She's a Renaissance woman, guys. Okay, I'm really glad that you came to the show and you're from NC. I used to work in NC as a data scientist for a year before the pandemic, pre-pandemic. Can you believe there's a word called pre-pandemic now? It's
Yeah, I
crazy.
know. It's crazy.
Yeah. So for people who are not living in NC state, can you describe them? How it is and
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and we connected about this when I in our own chats we talked about this since you know it quite well, but I don't think it's so well known, especially at least outside of the US. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, which is the biggest city. But if I had to describe to someone North Carolina, and I get asked this a lot in Spain as well, because people don't know what it's like there. And I would say first of all that it's part of the South of the US. It's one of the original states. It's a very green state, so lots of trees and lots of nature, and there's lots of space as well. It's typical that people have bigger houses with land just because there's so much space there. It's a very hot and humid place. Definitely in the summer, it
Summer.
gets very, yeah, summer gets very hot and humid. And then we have like a short, cold winter. We have all the seasons, which is nice. We have all of the seasons, yeah, all four
All four
seasons.
seasons. Everybody told me the same thing.
Yeah,
You're here now, you'll experience all four seasons. That's how they,
yeah,
yeah, sold it to me.
yeah, absolutely. And then besides that, it's also home to a few famous sports teams for our sports fans. So you have the Charlotte Hornets, you have the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, and then and even abroad, people love the Charlotte Hornets. So the
Really?
moment, yeah, it's a very famous
Oh,
team,
because
like
Michael
globally.
Jordan owns it too, that's why. That's
Yeah,
another
yeah,
factor.
yeah, yeah, and it seems like it's been famous for a long time, a very famous team. So globally, it's famous. I've seen in my travels in all sorts of random countries, people wearing like Charlotte Hornet hats, which I love to see.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Um, Yeah, and then besides that, I would also say that North Carolina is a great place for job opportunities. So there's lots of big companies based in North Carolina, especially in tech. You have a lot of them around an area called the Research Triangle. So that's great, but in general, the state is a bit relaxed for my taste. I prefer very big cities, but it is appealing for a lot of people because you have a high quality of life and you have lots of opportunities.
They should hire you as the ambassador. Good pitch. I liked
To
it.
pitch North Carolina.
Might go back now. Yeah, I think Apple is coming to North Carolina with their
They
campus.
are. They did
Um,
announce that recently, a big campus as well as Google. Google's opening a big like engineering campus in North Carolina.
it should
And you
be.
have a couple others that are headquartered there. I think Red Hat is headquartered there and also SAS Institute,
Yeah, SAS
the
is there.
software company. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot more. If you go up to Winston-Salem, there is a lot more. That's where I
Yeah,
was.
for sure.
Anyway, uh, so you're in Spain. You're being a professor, and you're in Waze, which is your new role. Um,
Yes.
do you want to talk about how you got the professorship, which is incredible?
Yeah, I got how I became a professor here. Well, I'm a professor at the school where I did my master's. So that was the first like touch I got with the university. It's an international business school that's based out of Madrid. So I studied there, and when I was studying there, I was really active as a student. So, like helping run student clubs, very involved in different events, very close to the professors. And from there, even after graduation, I stayed really close to the university and I continued to help them doing more like alumni events, helping out when they had people that were interested in the school and wanted to speak to a former student. So I stayed very, very close to the university. And it was about 2 years after graduation, or a year and a half, they approached me because they had a position opening because another professor had left. They wanted somebody to teach a business analytics and big data class to the MBA. And one of the professors thought of me, reached out to me, and he said, "Would you like the opportunity to try, teaching? Because I've seen you in front of crowds, I've seen you speaking, and you're good at it. Why don't you try this?" And I did. I took the opportunity. It was like a trial class, and I did really well. And so they invited me back. They ended up, appointing me as an adjunct professor, and now I'm a regular educator. I also do public speaking for them. I do public speaking tours where we'll go to other countries, and they will have me representing the university at conferences, also giving workshops at different companies and things. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty amazing. I'm very proud of myself, I guess, for achieving this,
I'm proud of
especially
you.
in a foreign.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
should definitely be proud of yourself.
Yeah. So, but it really came because of how active I am and how active I was with the university.
¿Habla español?
Sí, hablo español.
How long did it
¿Tú?
take you to learn? Un
Uh,
poquito.
Un poquito, okay. I learned everything here. So I learned Spanish from zero once I moved abroad.
Wow.
And yeah, that was quite difficult. So I took my journey at the beginning, I took very few formal classes to get to where I am today. I did take some classes at the beginning, but to get the basics of grammar and vocabulary when I
Mhm.
first moved here in 2012. And then I learned the rest through self-learning and through immersion. And I would say one of the things that most helped me, so I learned firsthand the best way to learn through immersion by meeting my now husband, who is Spanish. So I think that was one
Yeah.
of the best things that saw like my language skills just shoot off. And at the time, we didn't know very well each other's languages. He spoke
Mm.
Spanish, me English. So we used a mix of Spanish and English to communicate. And in turn, it helped us both improve our second language. And it helped me a lot with my Spanish, him with his English. So yeah, I mean, it took me a long time to get to the point where I'm practically fluent, but I started working in the language about 3.5, 4 years from living here. I started actually fully working in Spanish.
Four, around 4 years. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet?
We met in Retiro Park in the main park of Madrid. It would be like
Okay.
the equivalent of Central Park
Central
for
Park.
Madrid.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
tried
yeah.
that last year. I didn't meet anybody, by the way. I tried it.
You have to keep trying. You have to keep
I
going.
know. I know. Yeah, I tried really hard for like a week. Anyway, then COVID happened, so I had to stop. Anyway,
COVID makes it complicated. Yeah.
it yeah, it does. So speaking of meeting somebody, your husband, you guys got married this year. Congrats on that. Uh,
Thank you.
you guys had a COVID wedding and it was
Yes, we
successful. We saw the lovely pictures. Did you guys have like a interesting time planning it? How was the logistic?
Yeah, our wedding, I've been told we could make a movie out of what happened to us because, and I'm sure there's lots of cases like this
Yeah.
during the pandemic. We had originally had our wedding planned in the US. We're both in Spain. We had it planned for the US.
Hmm.
And with the pandemic, it got canceled. They closed the borders. We couldn't get him into the US. So we had to move our US wedding 4 times. So three
Wow.
times. We've moved it 3 times, so we've scheduled 4 weddings in the US. We still have our US wedding scheduled for next year, 2022. In the meantime, we tried to get married in Spain because we realized that the pandemic was going on, and this was going to be long term. We opened the process in Spain, but the government has been quite overwhelmed with the pandemic
Hmm.
and marriages are not priority. So we could not, I mean, we were trying for almost a year, just trying to get married here in Spain, but they wouldn't allow it, like legally. Everything was going so slow. So we ended up finding another solution and we flew to Mexico.
Oh,
We
wow.
Yeah, we decided that we wanted to, we wanted to do this. And I had always dreamed of a beach wedding, but I didn't think we were going to do it because our families wanted the more traditional ceremonies. But we were like, no, let's find a solution to this. Let's find a way to get married. We're not going to delay our wedding for years. We flew to the Riviera Maya in
Rivera Maya.
Mexico and we got married on the beach, just an intimate ceremony between us two. And we had our friends and family connected over video call. So they
That's so
watched,
nice.
but it was really nice. Everything turned out well. It was stressful getting to that point, everything that it took to actually make it happen. But I can't complain. It turned out better than we could have imagined. And we're still looking forward to the big wedding, which will be next year. So then we'll get to properly celebrate with friends and family.
LinkedIn is waiting for those pictures also next year. I'm
Okay.
not kidding. Because, you know, I am more impressed with the commitment of both of you getting married, no matter, what the barricade came up.
Yeah.
Another thing I do want to ask, jumping off from this, is the youth, because this show is geared kind of toward the youth. So they're in a haze when it comes to dating, finding the one. I don't know what's going on. Apparently, I'm a part of it, but I'm also not a part of it. Mid-20s, right? They don't want me to be a part of it because I'm too old. Anyway, what what issue are
If
you?
you're too old, then I'm definitely too old.
Yeah, they like they're this close to like, no, you're an uncle at this point. It's kind of scary. Anyway, what do you think of all the dating apps that is like revolving in the app stores? And is there an end game, or is this like a money, lynching product for big corporations? Like, what's going on?
They're not for me, but I have nothing against them. It's
Mm-hmm.
really the new way of dating, and it makes sense because we live so much of our lives online. Why not do dating online? So it's okay. And I think I've read different stats around this before. There's like between a quarter and a half of all couples meet online today. As well, I've read another stat that said Facebook was to blame for I don't know how many divorces. So it has the bad side as well. But I think if you're okay with it, then go for it. But be careful. I think that we have to. There's not as much. We're not as careful as we should be around it. You need to be careful and be aware that you can find anyone online and this can be a good or a bad thing. So definitely dating apps have their advantage, but they also have their disadvantages. And if I were to use one, I would be careful. And by meeting people, I would want to, like, you need to find a way to see who they are. Just because they are, this person that you found online with this biography and the picture, you don't know what's actually lying behind that. So I'm glad I didn't have to experience dating like this, but I know that it's more the new age way of doing things. I just hope that people are careful with it.
Cautious, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just lie about my height, guys. So, you know, you're you're safe with me. But anyway, but you can do those. If I lie about my height, other people can do a lot more lying,
Oh yeah.
right?
I'm
So
sure people do a lot more. Yeah.
that's what Christina's trying to say. Okay.
Yeah.
I do want to jump into those questions that I have for you. Um, what are you going to advise the youth who are trying to still find themselves, that are still in high school and college, but has not set their heart on a major yet? Like, I'm going to major on this one. They haven't done that yet.
I would say to be authentic and be true to yourself. So make sure that you're pursuing things in life that you have a passion for, things that truly make you happy, that you're not doing it because others told you to do it or because your family expects it of you or because it's a societal norm, whatever it may be. You need to find your own place. And I can speak from my own experience. I started when I was studying at NC State, I started in civil engineering. I had always thought that engineering was the way to go. And I realized into the first year that I wasn't enjoying it. Like I did not enjoy it at all. It wasn't what I expected, and I was a little bit disappointed. And I had to find what was I going to do. I could have stuck it out for a few years and then went on to be a civil engineer. But if I'm not happy studying it, it's probably not the right place to be. So I ended up changing majors and I changed to something that was a little bit closer to what I enjoyed, so around statistics and analytics. And it ended up being the perfect change for me. I'm very happy where I am. But the point here is that don't be afraid, even if you need to make big changes, even if you want to change your major, do it now. Do it. Do not hold back and don't put yourself into this bubble where you need to stay the straight course. Make sure you this is the moment in life where you can make changes quite easily. So don't lose that chance.
Is it like
And
16 to 25 would be the range? Just explore, explore, explore.
absolutely, I did it until like 30. So
Yeah, no, I'm
you
still
can do
doing it.
it
I'm
up
not 30
until,
yet. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. I did it up until 30, very much kind of taking things on a whim, taking bigger risks than I would have if I had something holding me back, a family or a house. So these are the years when you can easily take these risks. And by taking risks, that's where you're going to find opportunity. So I'm not one to be careful. I mean, obviously, you've seen with my journey, I moved abroad, I
Yeah.
established a career in another country. So I'm not afraid of stepping out of my comfort zone and taking risks. And I recommend that for others as well. Like leave your hometown, travel, do different things, take
Leave
risks.
your country. I left my
Leave,
country
yeah.
halfway
Or
across the world.
you can take the extreme. You can also leave your country. I highly recommend that, but I understand it's not for everyone.
Not
But
everybody,
definitely,
definitely.
no, no. But definitely do as much as you can in those younger years.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, the next question that we have is, how do you see the future? Because everybody, when they go to sleep, before they go to sleep, they visualize the world in their own way. So how do you see what's going to happen with, especially with tech? Because we're tech people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, anyways, when you ask me that, I automatically think of like the future, but the connection to tech. And for sure, it can go one of two ways. There's these two ways of thought, this technological optimism and technological pessimism. And no one really knows which way it's going to go. I, of course, hope for the technological optimism side. I'm more on that side, but I think we're not doing the best job of managing technology today. I think we have a lot to figure out, and I hope we figure it out soon. But I think if we use technology the right way and we look on the optimist side, then I would hope that technology would bring more equality and freedom. So ultimately, freeing up a lot of us from manual or tedious labor and letting us pursue more creative professions. That would be the ideal. But we're not, like I said, we're not doing the best job of managing it right now. And honestly, technology is causing a divide in classes, between different countries. So we need to find a way to manage it better. And if we do find a way to manage it better, it can also help us solve very complicated issues. So things around climate change, around overpopulation, healthcare, and so on. But technology definitely is the answer to our future, but it's just a matter of how are we going to use it? Are we going to use it properly?
So you use the word climate change, and I just watched a movie, um, and let's not name the movie, but the climate change word was from the word global warming,
Hmm.
and they did a marketing study. You know how they have groups where they quiz what word, what is your reaction to this word?
Yep.
So what they did is, and it was done by the government, um, whoever was in power at that time. They're like, okay, we're gonna replace global warming with climate change because it's less scary. So the younger people generation will react less and take less initiative to become, green tech engineers and stuff. Because climate change is, but it's not global warming. I just wanted to let you know I watched this like last week, and words have a huge effect,
Yeah,
And
they always do. Although I
yeah,
never thought about the difference between global warming and climate change. I think I use them interchangeably. Like it just depends on the moment which one comes out of my mouth.
huh,
But it is interesting that one probably has a stronger
stronger
impact than the other
impact.
one.
Yeah, apparently it
Yeah,
does.
yeah,
Also, like you said, we're managing the utopia and the dystopia of the
yes,
future. I think AI ethics is gonna play a huge part in this, right?
absolutely.
Um, but
It will, and I don't know if you've seen the recent documentary that was launched on Netflix, Coded Bias.
maybe.
It's very good. It's recent. So
Okay.
I recommend that to you, to our listeners, but check out Coded Bias,
Nice.
which is about AI ethics. And it's really good. And I think we are going to see more importance placed on this. Because in this case, you'll see in the documentary, they're talking about AI ethics and trying to make changes within the government so that, governments start to regulate this more. So for sure, I think we're going to be dealing with that over the next 5, 10 years as everyone starts to realize how important it is that we have more regulation and control of what's going on around us.
Right. Another thing is people are already trying to control other people, like the general population, using Twitter. They
Yeah,
send one message and the stock market goes down.
I know who you're talking about. There's one
And we
person
don't
who
need
has a
to
big,
we don't need to name them. They might be a guest in the future, But
yeah,
the point is, apparently this has a name. I'm just showing off at this point. It's called efficient market hypothesis, where you can actually study the market using historical data or anything analytical, but any new information immediately will change the market and it'll go up and down depending on the new information. So something that somebody's feeling, he tweets, and the entire market changes within seconds is like, okay, that makes more sense to me. So we should all be focusing on the NLP, natural language processing. I'm just trying to
yeah.
sell all the kids to it so they'll Google this. Let's go to our next question. You can tell I like NLP. Yeah, I'm
I
kidding.
can see, I can
Yeah,
see that.
that's how I started data science. That's how I got in.
In
Um,
LP, yeah.
that's the first thing I did with Twitter data, and
Okay. I'll share with you later. There's a link to a like sentiment analysis done by someone at NC State over tweets.
tweets. Okay. I did the one last semester on JFK. I took all
Oh,
his historical speeches and I did it. It was nice to do. It was kind of
interesting, interesting.
You are very famous, as almost as JFK with your famous book club. You are the most famous book club in LinkedIn. Uh, do you want to give a pitch to the audience?
Yeah, no pressure, no pressure.
Okay.
But so the hashtag Book a Week challenge, and I would say most recently the hashtag Book a Month challenge as well. This started as a personal goal of mine that turned into a community initiative over LinkedIn. And the idea really is to pick up better habits like reading books and to foster a continuous learning mindset. And I also personally use it as an excuse to disconnect from screens. We spend far too much time on our phones, our
Screen time.
laptops. Yeah, so as a rule of thumb, I only read physical paperback books. You can see one of the libraries behind me, one of my
Yeah,
little libraries.
this is you. This is your fault. On my bed by my
I'm
pillow.
happy to see. I'm happy to
Yeah,
see that.
I
And
yeah,
I
thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. No, I was gonna say that even with a busy schedule, lots of people tell me, no, I'm too busy for this. But I would say even with a busy schedule, mine is incredibly busy. Anyone can do this. It's just about making it a habit
You're
and
definitely
reading
busy.
consistently. Huh?
Yeah, you're definitely busy, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I still keep up the reading, and I think it's something that helps me like emotionally, mentally to disconnect and get lost in a book. And
Mhm.
also they say that it helps with learning. It helps mold your brain. You're learning a lot when you're reading. Doesn't matter the genre. You're
No, it
still learning
doesn't.
something.
Like
Yeah.
when I was a teenager, I used to finish these in a day. I don't know
Ah,
what happened to me when I struck my 20s. Um, but I'm with you, after talking to you, after like hanging out with you, observing you, I'm going back.
good.
Oh, yeah,
That's what I want to hear.
yeah.
So
All right. Do you have any questions for me?
why don't you, does the audience know about what you do? I mean,
I
have they
rather,
heard yet
I
your
rather,
background, what you do?
I rather not give it away. I just tell them I live in Bahamas. I could be
You
a
live in the
Bitcoin
Bahamas.
millionaire for, all they know.
Yeah. And what about, okay, why don't you tell us why you're doing, what's the purpose, the goal behind this
Right.
initiative that you're
Yeah,
having these
that
interviews,
absolutely.
these
That's like,
talks?
yeah, exactly. These talks. Actually, yeah, very, very good question. Um, so I was told, I don't know if I told you this or not, I was told when I was in high school and kind of in college, I wouldn't be anybody in my life.
You did tell me that. Yeah.
I, but I did become somebody, a very successful data scientist with a really, God bless, a really good pay and all the privileges. And my company really, really respected me a lot. I would never forget my all my
Mhm.
bosses and colleagues and coworkers. And I just really wanted young kids to know that everything people are talking is all white noise, and they really should focus on finding themselves, who they really are, their true north, their true calling. For me, it was data and data products is my thing. I had to go through not only battling what other people were saying about me, but also going through coding is a new thing when I was in college, right? Uh, I was scared of maths throughout my entire school, K through 12. So I had to battle with that. And I realized, oh my God, this is so easy. When I found out R, the programming language, like right now, all my friends come to me for R, right? And my friends are like graduate level super geniuses, and they're coming to me. That means I've found a way and it's natural to me. But I wouldn't know that it came naturally if I didn't explore, you know?
Of
I
course.
just
Yeah.
want kids to explore and watch these talks and take that, inspiration and move forward. Don't look back.
Great. You've sold it very well. I love it.
Thanks. Do you wanna end this with the quiz?
Sure.
Okay, guys.
Sure. Go
So
ahead.
what we want to do is we want to quiz Christina. It's gonna be 5 questions on history/geography, and it's gonna be very general, like fifth grader would know. So it's not like that. It's gonna be more a bit. I'll make it more difficult. College kid would know. Uh, Grad student would know.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
Okay, I'm making it easier on you. And if she wins, I'll send her a gift card from my favorite Washington, D.C. coffee place. Okay, maybe I'll get a sponsor out of it. Who knows? Okay, well, smart move. I just did right there. Might get a sponsor.
Smart move. Smart move.
Okay, first question would be um, who was the emperor during the Meiji Restoration in Japan?
Wow, that is a difficult
No,
question.
it's not.
I
You
don't
can just
know.
say
I
the
don't.
last name of the guy.
Yeah, but I don't know if I know the name of any emperors of Japan. I don't know, the Ming.
The Meiji.
I
It's
don't.
it's Meiji did the Meiji
Oh,
Restoration.
oh, I was close.
Very close. Okay,
It's
let's
very
do.
close. That's like a
let-
half point.
Okay, let's see. Geography, right? You like geography. What is the mountain range in between Nepal and China? It's very famous.
The Himalayas.
Yes, yes. You've
Ah,
been to
okay, I
Nepal, right?
got it. No, I haven't. I wish. It's on my
How
list. It's
I
very
wanna.
high on my list. On my
How many
list.
countries did you do?
I have done 56.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
I've done 12. So very. I need to
You're
catch
getting
up.
there.
I need
Yeah,
to
you'll
catch.
catch up in no time. After the
Yeah,
pandemic goes away, you
yeah,
have a chance
yeah. So you got one. We have
and a
three more.
half.
Okay.
Half
Okay.
point.
I'll give her, guys, we should give her this. Okay. She's doing this interview and she's actually really busy and very important person. Just because she's friendly doesn't mean she has a, she's very busy. All right. Third one. History or geography? What do you want?
Geography.
Geography. Okay. Um, why is why is it that Antarctic and Arctic are called what they are?
Antarctic and the Arctic. Antarctica and the Arctic. I've never wondered the Arctic.
I'm gonna
I don't know,
Google it
maybe it's
because I
something
forgot the
from
answer
Latin.
myself.
I don't
I
know,
forgot
maybe
the
it's
answer.
some Latin meaning behind it.
Why is Antarctic called?
I feel like I've read it in a book before, and now I don't remember. But I have
Yeah.
like that deja vu, like I've read over this before.
Okay. Antarctic literally means opposite to the Arctic, and Arctic means north.
In what
Uh,
language does it mean north?
this is Greek.
And
Greek.
Greek. This is really bad.
Sorry.
This cannot be published now because I am Greek and I am going to be in big trouble for not knowing this. If my dad sees this interview, I'm going to be in big trouble.
I'm so sorry. Uh,
So I should have known that. Definitely should have known that, and I
yeah.
didn't. But
So
now I'm not going to forget. I'm
do
not
I
going
give?
to forget this time.
Yeah, please don't. You're Greek. Should I give you a point? Half a
Just because
point?
I'm Greek, we can have a half point.
Half a point. Okay. So you have two, and I gave you three questions already. So two more. You just need to nail one of them.
Oh
Okay.
gosh.
History or
Okay.
geography?
Geography.
Ah, she loves geography, guys. Okay, okay, okay. Um, there are two canals in the world where a lot of trading happens. A lot of ships go with cargo. What are these two canals?
There's the Suez Canal, but that's an obvious one because of the news, what happened there recently, and maybe like the Panama
Yes,
Canal. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Ah, good, good.
Okay, so you have
We
three
can still
points.
do we can still do the last question just for
Okay,
fun.
okay. History or geography? She's gonna do geography.
You no, you can choose. I'll let you choose the last question. What you want.
Oh, okay, okay. Let's do this. So I'm watching this TV show called The Crown. Amazing TV show.
My husband is too, and I am not watching it with him. It doesn't
So
interest me.
wow. Okay, we're different people, but it's okay. We bond on tech. Okay,
There we go.
STEM talk.
There we go. That
Um,
works.
so there is this character. She is called the Iron Lady. She's very very famous. Uh, do you know her real name?
Was this Margaret Thatcher?
Yes, she
Yes.
wins, guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Ding
Yay.
ding 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 ding. Okay. So I will find a sponsor and I'll send you a coffee gift card. You have a promise. Okay.
Awesome.
And if nobody does, we have Starbucks. Okay.
That's true. That's true.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you. Yeah, thank you for having me on, and I enjoyed having our little chat.
Thank you so much. And I will see you soon again, talk to you soon again, and I really appreciate it. Bye.
Of course, of course. Bye bye.
Bye.